Welcome to the podcast. Today, we're diving into the intriguing first chapter of a narrative titled Meet the Players, which immediately throws us into a unique high school setting. Eloise, what's the initial scene like, and who do we meet first?
The chapter opens with a palpable sense of urgency, as Mrs. Monroe, a short, authoritative, middle-aged woman with a warm Southern accent, rushes into a very unconventional classroom at Atlantic Heights. It's a large room filled with scientific equipment, pipes, concave platforms, and even mirrors, suggesting it might have been a dance studio. She's clearly flustered, apologizing for being late, and we quickly learn that this isn't just a regular class. She's overseeing the academic portion of a project she herself initiated, though she admits to knowing little about the technical side.
So right away, there's a disconnect between her vision for student motivation and her understanding of the actual program. And she's not alone. 4 teenagers are waiting. How do they react to this somewhat chaotic start, and who are these students?
Indeed, the students aren't exactly thrilled. We're introduced to Leopold Gresham III, a tall, stocky boy who immediately challenges Mrs. Monroe, revealing he was forced into the program. It turns out he's been dodging physical education credits for years, and this program, requiring physical activity, is his last resort to graduate. Then there's Ashley James, a towering, slim boy who's openly sleeping, having been up all night playing video games. His casual defiance sets a unique tone.
Those two certainly don't seem like eager participants. Then we meet Brittany Petrine, the model student of the school. What's her motivation for being here, and how does she fit into this group?
Brittany is the quintessential overachiever, initially claiming she's here to boost her GPA, aiming for a top school like Spelman. However, Mrs. Monroe clarifies that the grades won't change, and her presence is more about guaranteeing her first-choice college. This ambition immediately sets her apart from Leopold and Ashley. It's Kingsley Hobbs, however, who challenges her perception. He's introduced as the school's most popular student and football star. Brittany, oblivious to his fame, questions his presence.
Kingsley Hobbs, the star athlete. So what brings the school's football hero into this unusual program? Is he also looking for academic credit, or is there another layer to his story?
There's a significant personal setback. Kingsley reveals he tore his Achilles tendon, losing his college scholarship offers. He's here to earn a new scholarship through this program, hoping to become a walk-on and get his life back on track. Brittany, in a rather smug moment, suggests he should have focused more on schoolwork than football. This prompts Mrs. Monroe to defend Kingsley, revealing he not only excels on the gridiron, but also holds an impressive 4.7 GPA.
A 4.7 GPA is exceptional, defying the dumb jock stereotype Brittany initially presumed. Mrs. Monroe then introduces a concept she calls the student triangle. What exactly does this involve, and how does Kingsley embody its successful navigation?
Mrs. Monroe explains that the student triangle consists of 3 components: academics, social life, and extracurricular activities. She notes that most students excel in 2, with the third often suffering. Kingsley, however, is presented as a rare example who has somehow learned to succeed in all 3. This revelation leaves Brittany quite flustered and confused, challenging her preconceived notions about model students and athletes.
It certainly upends expectations. Just as these dynamics are established, the company representatives finally arrive. Who are they, and what's their connection to Atlantic Heights and Mrs. Monroe?
The first to arrive is Brandon Smith, CEO of Gooden Games, who makes a rather rude entrance. He's followed by Olivia Fox, his assistant, who immediately apologizes for their tardiness. We quickly learn Brandon is a former student of Mrs. Monroe, who was then Principal Patterson. There's a warm familial connection, but Mrs. Monroe doesn't hesitate to reprimand him for his lack of manners. Olivia, it's revealed, was also a childhood friend of Brandon and reconnected with him at MIT before joining his company.
So, we have a successful alumnus returning, now a tech giant, and his highly accomplished assistant. A 5th student then bursts in. What's her story, and how does she differ from the others?
The final student is Desiree Reed, who introduces herself as most likely to give it to you straight. Her unique ambition is that she doesn't aspire to go to college, seeing herself solely as an entrepreneur. Brandon, unfazed, mentions Olivia has a plan for such situations, indicating the program might cater to varied aspirations beyond traditional college pathways.
That's a refreshing twist. And speaking of aspirations, a surprising reveal comes about the valedictorian race. Brittany, the model student, is challenged by none other than Ashley James, the sleeping gamer. How is this possible?
It's a huge shock, especially for Brittany. Ashley casually announces he's also on pace to be valedictorian. Mrs. Monroe steps in to explain that both students have the same grade point average, making it possible for Atlantic Heights to have 2 valedictorians. It's a moment that truly highlights Brittany's tunnel vision and lack of awareness about her peers, reinforcing Mrs. Monroe's earlier advice to her.
The tension between academic ambition and social awareness is a fascinating undercurrent here. Brandon then asks Kingsley to introduce himself, who, still engrossed in his phone, simply says, "Google me, baby." This leads to another revelation about Brandon's past, doesn't it?
It does. Mrs. Monroe confiscates Kingsley's phone, but Brandon, intrigued, tells Olivia to actually Google him. After seeing Kingsley's football highlights, Brandon, impressed, gets a smug challenge from Kingsley. This then sparks a playful rivalry, with Olivia questioning if Brandon himself played football. He reveals he was a defensive back for Atlantic Heights, and when Kingsley, in jest, suggests he'd leave Brandon on the line, Brandon retorts, "Google me, baby," prompting the students to discover Brandon Smith was an All-American, state record breaker, and chose MIT over prestigious football programs. It's a powerful moment that redefines the football star in the room.
A brilliant reversal of expectations. With introductions done and the initial dynamics established, Brandon gets to the core of the program. He starts with a rather alarming joke about dying in the game. What are the true stakes and the mechanics of this VR system?
Brandon prankishly tells them that if they die in the game, they die in real life, causing Leopold to immediately head for the door. Brandon quickly clarifies it's a joke, but then delivers the serious caveat. While they won't die, they risk injury. The equipment will imitate pain to a certain degree, meaning a small chance of severe injury is real. Despite this, all 5 students agree to continue. The VR system also features an AI helper named Piggy, player interactive game guiding interface, to assist with missions and RPG components. They'll also choose a class, with recommendations based on their scanned height and weight.
So it's a high-stakes, physically immersive VR experience. As Olivia and Mrs. Monroe bring in the equipment, what happens next as the students prepare to enter Veneva?
Olivia hands out individual garments, vests, gloves, and shoes, each in a different color. Ash in purple, Brittany in green, Desiree in blue, Leopold in gold, and Kingsley in black. Olivia even devises a special sandal-like strap for Kingsley's medical boot. They step onto concave platforms for scanning, receive their visors and headsets, and with a button press, their vision goes black. It then brightens to a sky blue screen, simply reading, "Welcome to Veneva." The chapter closes on this moment, leaving us eager to see what this mysterious VR world holds for our diverse group of students.